Hello, everybody. My name is Mahael Abdul-Qawi. I'm the founder and representative of the Accountability Party for Human Rights, a political vanguard organization comprised of individuals who have chosen the path of self-awareness and self-understanding to become something more for themselves, for their loved ones, family, and friends, and for the communities at large. In this video, I would like to discuss something that has been going on lately with the Joe Rogan Podcast. Throughout the pandemic, Joe Rogan, a famous MMA host, comedian, TV reality star, and as of lately, in the last several years, a very famous podcast host. On his podcast, he is known for having guests of many backgrounds, of many beliefs, of many political ideologies from different cultures onto his show. He has gained his mass following, which I believe is almost 11 million subscribers to his cause, to his channel, to his movement that he has created, because he allows his guests to speak. No matter where they lie on the spectrum, he is known to just have a conversation with his guest as if he is a complete stranger in the streets. And it's a very nice touch that I think in the way the world has progressed in the last decade. A platform like that is very attractive to a lot of people. When you feel like everything you watch is always one-sided or having to fit in one group, it's refreshing to go to a platform where you feel like you can meet other people from different backgrounds. In the comment section, in the forums, in the chats that he has, he brings together people of all different backgrounds, all for the sake of one conversation that he has in each video, depending on the guest. So throughout the last 2 years, he has continued his podcast, of course, and I believe it was either in 2020 or 2021, he struck a deal with Spotify, which was a very huge deal. It was a very handsome fee that he received out of this deal. And the reason why I'm bringing in this deal, because as well as getting this deal with Spotify throughout the last 2 years, he has had many guests give their own opinion, give their own facts, give their own understanding and beliefs, etc., on the COVID-19 pandemic. And as of lately, with the way we as society are moving forward post height of the COVID pandemic, as we become an endemic, right now you see the drive, this raging bull by the liberal media, by the left media, the Democratic media, trying to target anybody who is spreading quote unquote misinformation. This word has become popular within the last 2 years, within the last 6 years almost, because of Trump. He kind of started it with his Twitter tweets on Twitter and then so forth throughout the pandemic, but not saying he caused it or he's the main source of it, but again, his presence has launched this word to becoming a very common word now that we apply when it comes to media and day-to-day conversations. So Joe Rogan is under fire lately because apparently a recent guest was spreading misinformation. Now, mind you, a lot of his guests are experts in their fields, regardless if they are political, artists, engineering, health, lifestyle, psychology, whatever their background, their mission, their purpose is. A lot of these people are experts. He's not just hiring like somebody that is just starting out like a novice. A lot of the people have been doing their craft, their purpose for several years, several decades even. So this person spreads misinformation. Long story short, he is being targeted by the mainstream media, the Democratic mainstream media, as always, as he normally is, whenever he has a guest or whenever he shares an opinion that is contradictory, quote unquote, to the narrative that the mainstream media and the politicians, especially the current administration, is trying to push. But recently, this has become a bigger thing because of music, a music artist, singer-songwriter, um, Neil Young, I believe. Um, I forget. I believe it was Neil Young. He pulled his music off Spotify. Spotify doesn't remove Joe Rogan's content from their platform because of the misinformation. Now, I don't want to talk about too specific about that, but that is just the general gist of the situation. What I want to talk about is how the media is responding and how the media is moving forward, and that they are using everything in the book that they can. And we see this happen before. They're pulling out all tricks to try and get Rogan silenced. They're coming for his platform. The platform didn't say no. They're trying to shame him, but the person is not shameable because he doesn't care for their petty attacks. Joe Rogan has held himself accountable, which is very beautiful to see, especially in this current climate, this current society that we live in, to see somebody with his influence hold himself accountable to the fact that, and he said it recently in a video address that he made, where he said, "I don't know what I'm doing. All I want to do," pretty much, I'm paraphrasing, pretty much he says, "What I want to do is just talk to these people and to just have these people share what they do, share what they know, and just have a conversation about it. And whoever identifies or whoever needs the information can receive it. That's all he wants, and he's recognizing that it has gone bigger than what he has expected. So he will be mindful, which is what anybody can do. But with the only person in this story taking accountability, because you don't see the mainstream media take accountability. You don't see the quote unquote mainstream health experts. Mind you, these people who have been spreading misinformation the whole time throughout this pandemic, CNN, MSNBC, The View, just to name a few of these platforms, these people, and I'm not saying everything they have spread is misinformation. I'm not going to target them, because you also have, everybody has been spreading misinformation throughout this pandemic, because it's a constant discourse over every little aspect where we can't agree on one fucking aspect. So of course you're going to have misinformation from somebody, but that's okay as long as people take accountability and say, hey, our previous update, our previous research that we pushed out, hey, we were wrong. Or maybe let's have a conversation with somebody who has a different opposing theory or a result, and let's talk to them about it. But no, we don't have that. So you see, which brings me to the point that I'm trying to get to, is that you see with the media, they can't deplatform because Spotify is sticking with Rogan. You can't shame him because he's open to critique, and he's open to change and grow and have all parties involved. And he wants to be that middle gray area for all of them to come around. So what do you do when you can't do that? And I hate to use this person as an example, but he's the best example in Donald Trump, our previous president. They tried to deplatform him up until the January 6th, which was, again, a special case itself. Up until that point, they couldn't deplatform him on Twitter. For his whole presidency and prior, he spoke his mind. You couldn't deplatform him. You couldn't shame him. He did not care about your critique. Yeah, he responded, but honestly, he kept doing what he wanted to do. So what did they do? They demonized his fan base, his supporters. If you even liked one thing that Trump said, oh, now you're a racist. If you remotely said anything that was, you know what, maybe I agree with that one point, or throughout his presidency, maybe he did something that you were like, okay, I don't have any problem with that. Oh, now you're a racist. Oh, you're a white supremacist. And mind you, that's a title that you would get even if you were black. Oh, and if you were a minority, Afro-American, Latino-American, you said that you were in any shape, form, or way a Trump supporter. Oh, you're an idiot. Oh, you hate your people. Oh, you have self-hatred. You're this and you're that. Why do I have to be all these things? Why can't I just be a human being who looks at this person, again, I'm not saying I support Trump, but I'm trying to speak for the minds of these people who supported him. Why can't I be somebody who saw somebody that said something in his campaign or his policies that I felt like could make my life a little bit better from what the current shit that I'm dealing with in this country is? Maybe he could do something. And they gravitated towards that. Now, Trump is a false idol because he lied to his people. He lied to his supporters and he uses them. He's a con man. He's a real damn good one at that. A hilarious one at that. But he is a con man. But we see that all across the board too. On the left side as well. Joe Biden as well. But that gets me to my point and what I want to talk about in this video. We need to start asking why. Because you're going to see the media try to target Joe Rogan's fans and his supporters. Oh, if you listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, you're now a racist, you're a transphobe, you're this, you're that. Oh, you don't believe in a vaccine. So what, people at work or at school or just in their day-to-day, they can't say out loud, hey, I like to watch a Joe Rogan podcast episode. Oh, hey, I watched that the other day. Without your cohort looking at you like you're this and that. Like, what the hell are we doing? And it's all because these asshats who are actually spreading the misinformation, who are actually lying to us every single day, who are actually spreading fear and lies just to keep us in this constant state of tension. Because these people tell us we shouldn't like Rogan, because these people say that if you like him, you're this, you're that, you're that. No, you're not going to do that. And instead of hearing what these taintless people who are just being paid to just spew nonsense or saying, just ask why. As a society, we've gotten to a point where we focus on the what. We know the when. We know the how. But we refuse to fucking ask the why. And the more we refuse to ask the why, we're going to keep following this cycle. We're going to have more idols, whether they're false idols or whether they're idols who genuinely care about a truth, who genuinely care about people's well-being. You're going to have these idols prop up and people flock to them. Like, you got to ask, why is there, 70-something million people, or, I don't know, I forget, voted for Trump? Instead of being, oh, that's 70 million idiots, or that's 7 million people who were just racist and white supremacists, because in actuality, it was a lot of Afro-American, Latino-American, and Asian Americans who voted. So what? They now hate their people because they voted for a man? Let's ask why. Let's ask what made them get into this place. What led to them being like, you know what? Fuck the people who constantly say, oh, we care, we care, we care, and go to the person who's such a bronco, who's such a wild card. You can say the same thing about Bernie Sanders. So for Joe Rogan, why is it that the people, the American people, 11 million people, distrust the mainstream media, the people who have for years, for decades, established this place of trust amongst generations to go to for information? Why is it that in 2022, we can't trust you no more? Where we're going online to get our information from a bald guy who used to host Fear Factor. Why are we going to some guy who does MMA commentary? And I'm not saying that discredits what he can do, but for these corporations and the media that are asking, that are calling these people stupid for going to Joe Rogan. No. Instead of calling them stupid, why don't you just ask why they're going to him? And maybe you understand they don't trust you. You will see, that they can't even look these people in the eye when they turn on the TV and say, you know what? I'm cool with that information. I'm going to go about my day. And even those who still hang on by a thread to these mainstream outlets for truth. In 2022, with all the circling, with all the rambling and the talking, nothing is 100% sure no more. Everybody is unsure about something. So why not go to a guy online who's just trying to have a conversation with everybody? Why not? Because inshallah, see, he's fine. See, Joe Rogan is okay. Because he has brought so much value and demand to Spotify, to just everything he's done in the last several years now, where he's okay, where he's not going to be fine. But for people like myself, trying to build the accountability part for human rights, an organization that is promoting its members and for the people to speak up and to be self-aware and self-understanding and self-sufficient against a society that wants you to own nothing and be happy about it, which I will get to in my next video. But am I going to be deplatformed if I keep growing my fan base? Say if by this time next year I reach 50 subscribers, and am I now going to be on some watch list? Because again, I'm not trying to cause riots, although I'm not opposed to it. But at the same time, in this mission of accountability, you start to recognize the bullshit, the lies, and you start to especially notice it when it affects your livelihood. And inshallah, the more people keep standing up about this, the more people stand with Rogan, and not just him, no, but for the many other voices out there who are trying to project a truth, not the, but a part of the truth, that we have to stand up for all these voices. And inshallah, people keep fighting for that, because we can't allow this narrative to just silence us, especially when they're the ones who are pushing the lies. And that's why you'll never see these people go on to a Rogan. That's why you'll never see these people come down and talk to the everyday people like myself. They will never talk to these grassroots organizations trying to really stand up for the people, because they know at the end of the day, it's not Rogan that's telling them misinformation, it's them.